So, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be quickly breaking down ab training and ab development into 4 different parts. So the first part is going to be misconceptions, common misconceptions with ab training, so that you can get past that. Second part is going to be quick discussion about diet and nutrition, so that you can reveal your abs. Third part is going to be a quick breakdown of different training methods and explanation of exercises in proper form. And then the last part is going to be a few sample schedules and how often you need to train abs in order to get them to develop. So a lot of great information in here. Let's get started. There's a lot of common misconceptions people have about ab training. The first of which, of course, is that a specific program is, if they follow it, a certain exercise routine, it's probably gonna give them abs. And this is not at all true. Most of abs, as I'm gonna talk about in the future, actually comes down to your diet and nutrition in order to actually reveal them and get them to show, which is of course the point. So the last misconception, of course, is that ab training takes a lot of time. So you're gonna see a lot of people in the gym trying to do ab exercises to develop their core. And as I was saying before, a lot of it really comes down to your diet and nutrition. So if you don't get your diet and nutrition on point, then it's going to be very hard to just use straight exercises to really develop your core. And that's why you're going to see a lot of people in the gym doing those exercises, many of the days of the week, and they're of course not going to see results. The people I've heard from, the research I've done, and my own experience shows that training abs maybe 2 times per week is actually all you really need, and you can focus on the rest of your body too, so it saves you time. So diet and nutrition are really the backbone of any type of ab training program, and most people obviously don't want to hear that because they would prefer a shortcut method or some shortcut exercise program to really achieve these goals, but it's going to take a lot more than that. I mean, changing your diet and altering your nutrition isn't really a small task, and so most people, it's not the easiest thing for most people to want to do. But yeah, that's what it really comes down to. So eating less processed foods, less sugar. I mean, I'm by no means a nutrition expert, so I would say do a lot more of your own research on this topic. Try drinking just water, right? That's a pretty simple step. Just cut any type of soda or other type of drink out, and only drink water, maybe milk if your body can handle that, water and milk. And then that's going to be an easy way to just slowly shred your body down. So you want to make sure that you eat a healthy amount of calories for your age and also your level of activity. If you're in a calorie surplus, it's going to be a lot harder to develop your abs because you have more fat that's being stored. So just something to think about. And then another tip just related to diet, nutrition, and then just what you drink is if you drink at the end of your meal, if you're trying to gain weight, you should be drinking at the end of your meal, because this way you're able to eat more throughout your meal and you won't fill up on liquids as much. The opposite, if you want to start losing a little bit of weight, drink more in the beginning of your meal and then drink a lot throughout your meal, and that's going to cut the amount of food that you actually eat. But as I already said, I'm not a diet nutrition expert, so I would consult with someone who actually knows what they're talking about and can give you a proper recommendation. And then if you're lifting, you do want to try to make sure that you get adequate protein in your diet. So part 2 is actual training of the abs. So this really entails understanding the anatomy of your abs, which I'm going to go over really fast, and then also just like a few different exercises that you can do and then kind of mix up, and I'll give a few schedules later of examples of way to combine them. So basically your abs are composed of your rectus abdominis, which is going to be this front part right over here. That's where that 6-pack part will develop. On the sides, you're going to really have your obliques. But the core is actually like multiple layers of muscle. It actually extends all the way around to your back too. So your core is really important in keeping your body stable during your day-to-day life, just regular posture, standing, and then through a lot of the compound movements that you're gonna see in traditional exercise programs, all the deadlifts, squats, bench press, it's really responsible for keeping you stable. So how do you target your abs? Well, if you really want to fully develop your abs, you should be doing two main types of exercises. And the first type is more crunching exercises. This is going to be targeting that rectus abdominis, building it up, and you can use this more with weights. Your second should be twisting, right? Because that's going to be targeting your sides more, your obliques, and then also just helping you to like kind of shred down, lean out a little bit. So I'm going to give a few examples of both of these. So some of the basic crunching exercises are, of course, crunches. You know, without equipment, you just have a mat, the floor, or whatever. A few basic exercises, just like regular crunches, making sure that throughout each movement you're not using, you know, too much momentum to pick yourself up. You're really just trying to focus on tensing your core to lift yourself up to the top position. I usually prefer to do mine like tabletop crunches, so there's going to be a 90-degree bend at the knee and then also at the hip. There's a whole variation of different crunch exercises that you can do on the ground, and then there's a certain point where you want to eventually begin adding weight to your crunch exercises, because this is really going to build up the, you know, actual mass of your ab muscles over time, right? So one of the first things to do would be using the decline ab machine. So as you can see in this video of me doing it, coming up to the top position, trying to use only my abs, right, to get to the top. And you hold it for a tiny second, come back down, and try to keep your abs under tension the entire time. You want to make sure that your abs are always engaged throughout all the ab exercises so you can really fatigue them and then eventually get them to grow. So another thing which would target your rectus abdominis would be doing hanging leg raises. And so you can definitely also apply weight to this one too, whether it be a medicine ball between your feet or a dumbbell between your feet or some other form of weight. I don't know how creative you are, but basically what you're going to do is hang from a pull-up position and then trying not to swing with your body for momentum. You know, you can raise your legs up to parallel with the floor, that's a leg raise, or you can go in a more complicated toes to bar. In this video you see me doing it. It's really hard for me to be flexible and keep my legs straight, but the straighter your legs are, the better. And notice how little I'm trying to sway back and forth. That's very important for minimizing the amount of momentum and forcing my abs to do most of the work. Again, you can use the decline ab machine like I'm showing. Come up at the top, either with a medicine ball or a plate. You should probably lower the volume on this one just for safety, just for your back, because you might eventually start feeling it in your back. And I mean, I know my back starts cracking a lot, so you might want to avoid that. But really the focus on this one is more about the endurance. So any type of partner assisted exercise too, especially like that decline, you know, pass back to your partner. If you come in the top position, you get your rotation in, you get the weight in, and then you also target your rectus abdominis, right? Just throughout their crunching motion to get up to the top. And then you throw it to your partner. Planks. Those are definitely good for challenging your abs. I wouldn't necessarily say they're the best for really building up the muscle and developing your core. I mean, even when you start putting plates on your back, this is more just for like the fully encasing layers of ab muscle. It's going to help you with endurance, basically. All right. So probably not the most effective thing, but still worth putting into any routine. So part 4 of this video, let's talk about schedule. So as I already mentioned in Misconceptions, people think they need to train abs a lot more than they really need to. If you're able to cut it down to 2 days per week, training abs that number of times per week is pretty optimal because it will allow you to focus on the rest of your body too. It's also important to note with ab training that you also want to target your core in the back too, or at least strengthen your lower back, right? Because otherwise you're gonna have muscle imbalance. You do want to make sure that you're also training your lower back. So you can do this either through using like a lower back machine where you'd hold a weight and raise up, or not have a weight at all if you're just starting out. So I'm just gonna put a few schedules of those up on the screen just so you guys can see a few examples. Thanks guys so much for watching this video. I hope something in it was helpful and informative to you and will help you to really develop your abs or just get lean and more shredded. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.